Welcome back, everybody. The South African Revenue Services, SARS, says they've paid 18.5 billion rand to over 2 million taxpayers at the close of the tax season for non-provisional taxpayers. Now, this reported 26% increase comes amid a grilling by the Standing Committee on Finance regarding delays in the payment of refunds. And to discuss this further, we're joined by the SARS Commissioner, Moyane. A very good morning to you, Mr. Moyane, and welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, and thanks for having us here this morning.
So, how much were you able to collect this tax season?
Well, we don't collect in accordance to a season. We collect annually, but we measure our collections over a period of time. But as we speak today, I think we have collected over 700 billion.
Okay. Did you reach your target, though?
The target is only measured at the end of the financial year, which comes on the 31st of March next year.
So are your collections indicative of the so-called tax revolt, and are people paying their taxes?
Well, let's take it this way. I am very proud to say that we have a compliant tax citizenry. Mm-hmm. If the 2 consecutive years of collecting 1 trillion rands is anything to go by, it indicates that South African taxpayers are paying their fair due of taxes, and they're happy. And therefore, there could be more who are in the pipeline who could do much better than that. So we're much happy. So a tax revolt, I should think it's some sort of a figment that people are trying to put in the narrative to create a situation where people should not pay their taxes. But we want to encourage that paying not taxes is criminal. You have to pay your taxes. Because by not paying taxes, you're not making the country to grow.
Not everybody is happy, though, especially those who are supposed to be receiving their refunds. And the Standing Committee on Finance has been quite critical with the slow payment of refunds. Why is that? And how is it addressed?
We agree full-heartedly, because the tax ombudsman did come in public and said there are problems and concerns raised by South Africans saying that we're not paying their VAT refunds. But that being the case, we agreed to the investigation, we complied, we participated, we did everything that is possible in order to help the tax ombudsman to reach the decision that they came to. And certainly some of the issues that they raised with us were valid. And we made it public that we take on board the recommendations that were made by the tax ombudsman, and would like to see the matter of the VAT refunds being done expeditiously. But be as it may, we're a tax administration. There are other people who are within nefarious interest, not prepared to play the ball, and they're fleecing the system.
It's interesting that SARS was able to achieve its targets for 2 years, but they're still not able to pay refunds. I mean, is this in a way to prop up collection targets?
No, not necessarily. 78% of refunds are paid without going a risk engine. Only 22% that go through scrutiny, precisely because we want to be able to detect those who are not doing the right thing. One is that we've seen a spike of people who are not paying, who are claiming VAT refunds illegitimately and wrongly so. And therefore, we need to be able to say, if you are sitting with me, you are claiming a VAT, I need to be able to say that amount of money, is it really the amount of money that you're supposed to receive? And we go through the process of paying. But ultimately, they do get their refunds, albeit the fact that it's delayed. So we don't pop up the values in order for us to be able to meet our target.
So has SARS then offset the refunds that should have been paid this year for the coming years?
We have a target, we have an envelope. Refunds are predetermined in advance. And I must indicate that over the past 2 years, we have paid far above what we are supposed to be doing. And that amount in itself is indicative of the fact that much as there are problems in the system, much as there are complaints, we fulfill our mandate and responsibility. But be as it may, if you have already filed your provisional tax, within 2 or 3 minutes you get an SMS that indicates that you have been assessed and there is money due to yourself. Within 72 hours, it's in your bank.
Right.
There are cases where even if they say 72, but it goes through a risk engine, we might need to go further to check as to whether that amount is really due to yourselves.
Let's talk about the reported 50 billion rand shortfall. This is by all means one of the largest downward revisions since the 2008-2009 financial crisis.
No. It's not the largest. Let's put corrections. Lest amnesia creeps into the system. The largest has been 60 billion.
Okay.
That's 2009, 2010. And that has not created in Halabaloo. The 50 billion, yes, it's concerns. But let's also predicate this particular aspect. The revision downward is decided upon not by SARS. It's a committee of colleagues who are macroeconomists, who are from the Reserve Bank, who are from SARS, who are from National Treasury. This committee is called the Revenue Analysis Working Committee. They sit and do what is called a landscape analysis of the macroeconomic conditions of the country and the world. Bear in mind that when the target was set in February, the economy, the GDP was pegged at 1.3%. And they sit and check as to where we're sitting in terms of economic growth. You know, as a journalist, that we're coming out of a recession. A recession means, therefore, the economy is not performing. And therefore, the GDP was revised to 0.7%. So concomitantly, if you have set a target at 1 point, therefore you need to be able to juxtapose the two and see whether you'll be able to extract that. But what is important about this, the 2010, 09, 2010, and now, we've always, as SARS, in accordance to the standards that we see, been extracting tax to GDP ratio of 26%, the highest. And we are an envy of the world. So the 50 billion is a decision that was taken collectively as a consensus. That said to the Minister of Finance, Minister, the economy is not performing. You had set the target at this number. We think there is a need for you to revise it.
So it's got nothing to do with the fraud allegations within SARS? It has
nothing absolutely to do with SARS. SARS has no role. SARS plays a pivotal role together with its peers in the Reserve Bank and National Treasury. So that issue does not arise. So I'm not sure as to why people are picking up on this particular number.
Plenty more to talk about, Mr. Moyane. Let's leave it there for now. We'll continue our discussion after the break. Now, we are in conversation with Mr. Tom Moyane, who is the SARS Commissioner. We'll be back with him after the break. And after the break, we'll be talking about Jonas Makwakwa and as well as the contentious rogue unit. You are welcome to contribute to the conversation. Tweet us at Morning Live SABC. Use that hashtag Morning Live SABC. Let's go for a coffee break. We'll be right back.